Chinese proverb states that if you're thinking a year ahead, then plant a seed. If you're thinking a decade ahead, then plant a tree. But if you're thinking a century ahead, then educate the people. Gavelier of the day, fellow Gaveliers, Toastmaster and guest, a very good evening. The early years of a human being's life are the most favorable ones for developing attitudes and values that form the basis of their personality. The structure of values and attitudes built in the early years are strong and permanent roots for one's entire life. They will be used as references for the main decisions that challenge men and women. Those first values also determine the ethical and moral behaviors throughout life. And if we desire to have citizens or adults in the future who care, nurture, respect each other, their mother nation, other nations, the world and the universe, it is very important that we sow today a very strong foundation in the children's education program. And that is why, my friends, we are forced to go to school 5 days a week. Anyway, Nelson Mandela once said that education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. Education is the key to eliminating gender inequality, to reducing poverty, to fostering peace, to preventing needless death and illness. Research shows that children between 2 years and 5 years of age start becoming aware of all the gender or disabilities, ethnicity, and race. They also start to absorb all the positive attitudes and negative biases and prejudices that are still far too prevalent in our nation. If we do not invest in their development, the children will necessarily pay a far greater price, both financially and in the quality of life. India had a glorious tradition of learning, which focused on the development of the inner self of a student. But the education system developed by the British focused or aimed at serving them rather than benefiting the nation. And at the time of independence, we had only 20 universities with 500 affiliated colleges and an enrollment of less than 1 lakh students. But today, India's higher education system is the third largest in the world, which is only next to United States and China. The higher education system plays a very crucial role in unleashing one's energies and realizing the demographic dividend. With several initiatives taken by the successive governments to ensure education for all, we have several hundred universities today. As per the latest reports, we have about 760 universities with more than 38,000 colleges and an enrollment of more than 3.4 crore students. But that is not important. What matters is the quality. We are aware of plenty of cases where an educated, smart and developed mind person was able to ruin the system of a nation in better ways than an uneducated person. Victor Hugo said that he who opens a school closes a prison. But the harsh fact today is that we do have so many schools, thousands of schools, and yet our prisons are filled. And yet we have criminals just freely roaming around our nation, some even in our classrooms. If we are able to find the root cause of these threats and curb them in the correct manner by providing the rich quality of education and moral building in classrooms, we can achieve a better future, a safer future. We now live in an age where change is constant and we are variables. To keep up with this change, we need to keep updating ourselves with the newest technologies, newest innovations, and all the changes taking place in the world. And for that, learning should not be seen as an end, but as a beginning to achieve great heights. One should become multi-skilled and dare to dream big to achieve one's goals. According to the 1996 Commission on Education, there are 4 pillars of learning. There is learning to know, that is the knowledge, learning to do, that is the skills, learning to be is one's personality, then learning to live together is the appreciation of independence and understanding. Abraham Lincoln once said that the philosophy of classrooms in one generation will be the philosophy of the government in the next generation. So I would like to conclude by saying, don't be oblivious about all these things and stay in school. Thank you.